Hey everyone, and welcome back. I have a doozy of a review for you today. It's the first day of summer, and I finally got to see Morbius, and here's my review. Let's go. Okay, so it's been 3 months after its release finally since being on COVID lockdown. Morbius came out in 2022 after being held in a Sony studio vault since 2020. No, I don't know if that's true, but it kind of feels that way because even though all the excuses during the pandemic hit every alleged blockbuster film to come out, this was one that should have stayed in the vault under lock and key. You know, like that Price is Right vault game and you have to figure out the combination lock?
2 prizes in that safe. Swing that door back. Swing that door back, Diane.
Let's be honest. I'm a huge fan of Marvel and DC and pretty much all of the action superheroes you can throw out. Yes, even you Elektra and Daredevil. Yes, even you Jonah Hex. But with that being said, I also have better taste and know what to look for in my films. I guess this review can be a horror-esque kind of review because of the nature of the main character, a living vampire. And when you say vampire, you don't think PG-13, but here we are. Morbius stars Jared Leto, Adria Arjona, Matt Smith, Jared Harris, Tyrese Gibson, Al Madrigal, and a last-ditch effort cameo of Michael Keaton. We'll talk about that shortly. Let me be honest and say, I love Jared Leto and his acting. He makes specific choices and sticks with them until the very end. He looks like he's fun to work with, and yes, for being 50 years old, Jared can be seen as a living vampire in real life, as he doesn't age to the point of not calling him an actor that can do the salt and pepper hair trend and not make him look weird. Him and Keanu Reeves keep their youthful looks as part of their starring role contracts. The moment we see them otherwise older, wider, and all around out of shape is when we start to question how much of a paycheck did they receive for this. Is this a car payment or a house payment kind of movie where we blame the script and knock the actor? Morbius, on the other hand, seemed more or less an epic Pantene shampoo and conditioner spot that was extended for viewers. Jared Leto kept his hair in a low, messy bun, or it was parted in the middle very straight and luxuriously with some waves. I almost thought he was going to put on a white robe and start singing Jesus Christ Superstar.
Have to know, my Lord. Why?
But in any case, Jared's eye candy was a bit overshadowing of the film when he finally shreds his crutches to show off that Marvel gym membership, doing him justice. Jared as the Joker, Jared in Requiem for a Dream, Jared in House of Gucci are characters. But this one felt more of Jared just being Jared with no good script to work with. Okay, let's break down the movie. Dr. Michael Morbius has a rare blood disease that we find out he's had all of his life. The opening scenes share that he's in some hospital group home for kids in Greece with the same blood disease, and he meets his new best friend, Lucius, which he quickly renames Milo. The reasons being is because a kid before him was the new guy, and the kid before him was the new guy. So we see that Michael has had a lot of kids come and go in the children's ward, and he just started naming them Milo after the first Milo kid he encountered. We do see him pull up in a chauffeur-driven Rolls, which indicates that Lucius is well off, but I mean, that's about it. 25 years later, we find out that Lucius is still alive and bankrolling Michael's unorthodox experiments in international waters 13 miles off the coast of Long Island. We can assume that Michael and Lucius are the lucky kids who stayed alive with this rare disease. But nothing is said about those who didn't. Which brings us to the heartwarming scene of Michael caring for a young girl who goes in and out of a state of pain until Michael sedates her and puts her in a coma. After that, we don't hear any more about her. As a doctor that has invested his time and his life science to curing this rare blood disease, the film says no more about her or anyone else. It then becomes all about timing. I'm not sure what scenes were edited to make this more of a plot hole, thickens type of movie. Like, is this a setup for a Morbius 2 and 3? But I don't think people are waiting 3 to 6 years to find out. The kid, for all we know, could be like Priyanka Chopra's character in the Matrix Resurrections disaster of Last Christmas that grew up and we don't know anything about her either. Moving on. We see a chemistry between Morbius and Dr. Martine Bancroft, but that attraction quickly is dashed because of the awkwardness shared of finding a cure. And once a cure has been found, instead of celebrating, mayhem ensues, and Dr. Morbius is quickly on the New York's most wanted list as a suspect into murders from the boat we last saw, and the nurse we find out that has been his aide for 7 years. The movie quickly jumps all over the place, to say the least. There are 22 bodies that I could count, making this again a horror-esque film because of it. The blood, however, of the kills, I feel like they were that of an off-screen kiss back in the 1950s, where because of the PG-13 rating, they didn't want you to see the red blood splatter all over its victims, which is weird because you see the slashes, you hear the blood dripping sound effect, but yet we don't see it. You know what I mean? That's really weird. It's like Sony said in a meeting room, we need more blood sound effects, but don't show the blood. Let's all be the blood. Let's embrace the blood, but let's keep the politics of horror out of the movies. It was just weird. Speaking of transformations, you only get Morbius take the serum one time and boom, he's a vampire for life. But yet he times himself and finds out that the artificial blood he lives on only works for 6 hours at a time. And even that is dropping down to about 4 hours. Well, that becomes a problem throughout the entire film. He's always checking his 80s water-resistant Casio watch, which is old school points for nerds. And then towards the end, we never see him address it again. Couldn't someone in that same Sony meeting insert animal blood? I mean, so many other vampire movies keep their main character alive who wants to live a life human-free, go the route of animal blood. But alas, it became the parody of The Matrix, where he is forced to make a red or blue decision. I was so confused in one line when Morbius says he's been living off the blue for a week, but yet we've only seen him 3 days out in the world as a living vampire, for which he's been timing his new existence every 6 hours. Then we see him locked up, which I'm no expert in being in jail, but in New York, going through the booking process for a huge crime of murder is not going to be a 20-minute job. That process is going to take a while. And if 6 hours was his threshold, he would have eaten every last prison guard and cop in the entire precinct just to stay alive. Plus, the comedy relief in the film by Agent Rodriguez was okay, but some lines were forced comedy where it wasn't as natural. I mean, he had more lines than Tyrese, and I wasn't sure if there was an equal footing or one was over the other or they were just partners together, because clearly Tyrese was mad about not having another Fast and Furious paycheck, which seems to be more than what this movie had to offer. When Tyrese confronts Michael on the rooftop, it was odd that he climbed up 20 flights of stairs and then met him on the roof with a gun to the face. Yeah, I don't think so. And then when they had him in the interrogation room and Agent Rodriguez has a bottle of holy water, they took his "you don't want to see me when I'm hungry" line very calm and very nonchalant. Like, oh, we deal with vampires all day. This ain't a Spider-Man or a Venom or even a Loki drop-in where we see weird stuff all day. No, it's a living vampire that drinks blood and has cops, people, and the like on edge. The film, I thought, was enough to wait to be rented or downloaded. And if you saw this in the movie theaters, kudos to you for giving it some box office sales. But the editing and the script needed more work and needed more scenes to explain what's going on. Visually, though, the colorful, smoky effects was a nice touch. I felt like a video game where I had to drink all of the blue potions to level up. The red blood potions, like in Castlevania, are a special potion that gives you more strength and firepower. I almost laughed at the script when they talked about the different colors of the blood as if it was Keanu in The Matrix being given a choice from Morpheus to take the red or blue pill. I also got vibes of The Lost Boys, where Matt Smith's character and Ariana's character kept taunting him or calling out his name, Michael, Michael, like when Kiefer Sutherland did. I almost wished he showed up instead. Last but not least, the spoilers at the end. We all know that Marvel has made its name synonymous with waiting until the end. Well, here we get 2 spoilers. We get some credit roll, then we see Michael Keaton roll up with a cameo, which I feel like he deserved better than a mirror flash one-liner. I mean, it's Michael Keaton. Respect his time. Put some respect on his name. Nevertheless, we see him drop in this prison cell when the purple sky cracks open. Thank you, Dr. Strange and Tom Holland Spider-Man. And then we assume it's him under the Vulture's mask after the second roll of credits to show that he wants to team up. Now, first of all, The post-credit didn't explain jack. The original trailer did a bait and switch because it hinted at Spider-Man, sort of like a Spider-Man sort of cameo team-up. But we never got a Keaton scene. Then Morbius, who flew out in a fit of bat rage with swirls of purple all of a sudden, still a wanted guy from the cops, mind you, is driving this uber-fast Porsche to meet up with Michael Keaton's character. So where did he A, jack the car from, and B, why does it look like Jared Leto's personal car? Like this is a typical drive to his Malibu home. I kid you not. Villains or anti-heroes appear to have more fun. At any case, he talks to Keaton's character about Spider-Man, but we never got any inclination that Morbius knows about Spider-Man, for which Spider-Man, for that matter. Like, was it Tom Holland Spider-Man? Was it Andrew Garfield Spider-Man? Was it Miles Morales, unseen live version Spider-Man? We just don't know. Then we see Adriana wake up from her vampire's kiss on the neck from Morbius. Did Morbius know that he can do that? Was this his vampire instinct creeping in? So, like, are they going to be girlfriend and boyfriend in blood? Way too many setup questions that weren't answered. Anyway, this concludes my review for Morbius 2022 starring Jared Leto. You can rent or buy or download the movie and just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Are you still waiting to see it? Take care, and I'll see you at the next review.